No. The short answer is no. Okay? The 9800X 3D cannot save the legendary 750 Ti from anything. Yeah, I had to burst your bubble like that, but that's the truth. Talk about 750 Ti. This was the budget king back in 2014, right when I started my first year of college. So yeah, the thing was pretty good back then. I could play a lot of games. I used to own a laptop, an Asus ROG laptop for my college work and stuff, so I had a better setup than this, but this was a really good card. I know this is gonna be like a wild bottleneck if you've ever seen one, because who the hell pairs up a 750 Ti from 2014 with a 2024, pretty much almost 2025 9800X 3D, the top of the line gaming CPU there right now, right? So let's see. I'm gonna be testing this thing on 10 games. I mean, I already did test it on 10 games, so you guys can see the aftermath. And some of the things are really hilarious. Some of the tests are really hilarious. We're about to see, okay? So before we jump into the actual videos, let's see the system specs. So we're running all these games on the GTX 750 Ti, no overclocking, nothing, 2 GB, and the Ryzen 7 9800X 3D, as crazy as it is, with 4.70 GHz clock speed and 64 GB of DDR5 memory, running at 6000 MHz. You guys might think I'm a little bit crazy, but who doesn't like to have some fun once in a while? That's exactly why I made this video. This is a no purpose like an advertisement to buy a 9800X 3D. If you have a 750 Ti hoping you can, everything magically changes. It doesn't. It's just a fun experiment that I did to see how things go. You guys gonna like it, okay? So buckle up. Starting the video off with Counter-Strike 2. And I had high expectations with the 750 Ti, Counter-Strike is gonna be a breeze on any GPU, even the 750 Ti. So it's like, yeah, why not? So I wanted to see if it's gonna be, worth it on 9800X 3D and see how much FPS you can squeeze out on 720p low settings, as you guys can see here. And of course, just ignore my trash gameplay here because I am really bad at Counter-Strike. I once competed in Counter-Strike Counter-Strike 1.2 tournament a long time ago, and we lost on the second round. So after that, I've never played Counter-Strike, and I just wanted to test it out on the 750 Ti. And we're getting more than 100 FPS easily, and I'm really glad. And even at some point, we can reach up to 200 FPS right here. See, so it's a pretty good experience on the 750 Ti with the 9800X 3D. Yeah, pretty good start for the 750 Ti. Let's see what we got next. Okay, so next up is going to be Overwatch 2. We're just taking it easy on the 750 Ti for now, alright? So Overwatch 2 is a game that I can appreciate for its optimization. If there's one thing that I can give like a good credit for Blizzard, it's going to be the optimization of Overwatch 2. Everything else they do suck, okay? So good job, Blizzard, on optimizing a game that's like playable for a lot of players, even with a low budget GPU or system, right? So on this game, I'm playing the game on everything low, 1080p for the first test, and medium texture quality. I thought it was all low, but I was wrong. It was on texture quality medium settings, so that's why we are getting only 70 something FPS. Here, 70 like 100 FPS is what I was getting, which is not bad for 1080p gameplay on a 750 Ti. I expected the the CPU to help it out a little bit more, but you can see the CPU is just chilling there. It's like 10 to 11% usage, and the GPU is maxed out. But this is a playable experience even on 1080p. And moving on to 720p. So we are moving on to 720p on 1366x 768 resolution with everything low. You're getting around 160 FPS. That's a huge jump. That's like double the FPS we can get So you know, if you're ever playing Overwatch 2 on a 750 Ti, you guys can get around 100, 200 FPS almost, right? That's pretty sweet. That's like high refresh rate experience right there. I don't know if you guys have, let me know in the comments down below if you guys are getting almost close to, or if there's any difference with the FPS you guys can get with the 9800X 3D. I mean, with your CPU, if it's not a 9800X 3D or any X3D chip. Let me know in the comments. But I don't think the CPU is helping out a lot here in this game because it's just chilling there. But I may be wrong because I didn't test it out on any other GPU, right? I mean, any other CPU, right? So, but it's a pretty sweet experience. And again, my gameplay is only Reaper because I'm a Reaper main. To be honest, I only know how to play Reaper. That's the only reason, guys. Yeah, really sweet experience on a 750 Ti. Good to see that. And moving on to Fragpunk. This is one of the latest games that came out like a week ago. And I already did a test on this on the 750 Ti with the 9700K. If you guys want to check that out, it'll be up here. So please make sure to check that video out. And I was curious to see how it's gonna work with the 9800X 3D. Maybe we can squeeze out more FPS because this CPU is way better in terms of the performance. So I was curious, and this is one of the best optimized games on Unreal Engine 5 that I've seen so far. And it surprisingly works really well with the 750 Ti on lower resolutions. And so I'm testing out the game on 1080p, all low settings with FSR performance to see how it goes. And surprisingly well. It's a TDM game, okay? Because it was taking way too much time for a regular game, so I had to go with a TDM. So I was doing pretty bad on 1080p. Don't get me wrong, I was just warming up, so you know how things go when you warm up, right? So you're getting like 120 FPS on these settings. I'm pretty sure we got like at least 20 to 30 FPS increase compared to the 9700K which I tested on last time. It's a really sweet experience. It's running really good on 1080p. It's running even better than Counter-Strike. That's really good, guys. So if you're into games like this, like the only gripe I have with this game is like it's not fast-paced. The running feels too sluggish, which is one of the reasons why I hate Valorant. You know, I like the gimmicks with the card system, but other than that, it's I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. Maybe I can just hop in and out once or twice. You know, get some kills, hop back out. It's that kind of game for me. But yeah, on 1080p lower settings, runs absolutely perfectly fine. And on 720p, it's even better. I'm getting close to 200 FPS, like we got on Counter-Strike. Absolutely amazing, and this is an Unreal Engine 5 title. I've never seen an Unreal Engine 5 title working this well before. Granted, it's not a graphically demanding game, but you know, it's still impressive. I'm really glad. A lot of gamers with low-end GPUs can absolutely enjoy this game without any problem. Granted, we don't get, amazing visuals. So yeah, guys, really good experience with the 750 Ti on Fragpunk. Now moving on to another punk type game. You know what I'm talking about. The actual elephant in the room, Cyberpunk 2077. The industry standard for Nvidia to show off all their new GPU technologies. Even after 4 or 5 years of release, 4 years after release, they're still showing off Cyberpunk as their biggest achievement in graphical technology. And let's see how this 10-year-old GeForce card goes up against Cyberpunk. So the game gave me these preset settings. It was 1080p with Super Resolution 3 balanced without any frame generation, and everything is set to low to medium settings. It's not all low though. So this was a setting that the game gave me when I started the game. This is 1080p. We're getting like 26 FPS. On balanced FSR, not that bad though, I was not expecting this. So this game runs on a 2 GB card. I didn't expect it. Thought we needed at least 4 GB of VRAM to even run the game. Apparently not. So, do you guys play? If anybody's watching this, do you guys play the game on a 750 Ti? And are you guys okay with this type of performance? If this was way back in 2015, or maybe like way before that, 7 to 8 years old, maybe back in 2005, something like that, maybe this is like a really smooth experience for me, because even 30 FPS back in the days was a dream. I remember back in when I used to play games on like 10 to 20 FPS with the integrated graphics with a dual core processor, AMD Athlon. So I could deal with this. Will be no problem. Now we're trying it on 720p. We're getting around the same settings, like 28, 27, 30 FPS ish. Cyberpunk is working. It is playable. It is playable. I know the visuals are terrible. But the game is playable though. That's a W for the 750 Ti. No, the budget king still breathing. Really good. And I wanted to try with the frame generation turned on. So we restarted the game on the same settings on 720p to see if the frame generation is going to give us any more boost. Apparently it didn't, because frame generation usually requires more VRAM utilization. And we can see right here, you can see the frame time graph is going crazy compared to how it was on native. And there's a weird visual pour going on the screen right now. See that? Like a Dolby. If you know what I mean, you see the video effect where the character moves forward, the background just pushes backward type shit. Yeah, that effect, the Dolby effect. I think I'm right. We're getting that here. It was so weird to look at, right? So wasn't worth it. Works really better without frame generation. Now finally on 720p frame generation settings, we're getting close to 60 FPS. 60 FPS is possible, almost close to 60 FPS with the 750 Ti. Amazing, guys. You gotta give the props to the 750 Ti. This guy, the little guy, is amazing. I'm speechless. So Cyberpunk is playable, but will I play like this now? Nope. But if you're having if you're running the game on a 720p monitor, maybe. Let me know, guys. Let me know if you guys will play a game like this on a 750 Ti. Yeah, so it is playable. Okay, let's try out another Unreal Engine 5 game, The Finals. The best destruction I've ever seen on a video game. If you guys know, you know it, right? So this game is really unique and has a special place in my heart, because I don't know, there's no other game that does this better than this. Battlefield had it, and this one, it has it better. And surprisingly, it's one of those heavily detailed games that is really well optimized as an Unreal Engine title. I was like, really? I did not, trust me on this, I did not expect this game to even open up on a 750 Ti. But here, this card just surprises me on every corner. So I tested the game out first on 1080p with the FSR 3 Ultra Performance. As you can see here, with everything set to low, of course. Come on, even on a 5090, I'll be playing this game on low settings, just because just to squeeze out those good frames per second. And yes, the CPU helps. So we're playing a good game of Power Shift, and in the game we're getting 30 some FPS, close to 30 FPS on 1080p. Really good. Even though it's not actual native settings, native resolution, 30 settings on 1080p upscaled is impressive on a 2GB card. This game has a lot of destruction, particles, environment effects going on every single second, and 30 FPS. Come on, guys, you gotta give it to this card, man. It does put a smile on my face, just like Thanos said, but for the good reasons. You like to see budget GPUs win in this day and age, and GPU prices are skyrocketing. it's good to see this happen, you know. My aim is completely trash because it's really hard to control it on 30 FPS, especially in a really chaotic scenario like this. So 1080p with these settings, we're getting 30 something FPS almost all the time. And now moving on to 720p with the same settings, we're getting close to 50 FPS. It's pretty much the same. So we can see the 90x 3D going up to 22 something percentage, you know, even so it just bounced around in the 20s to 30 percentage usage ballpark, and we're getting 60 FPS sometimes. And, you know, when there's nothing going on, you're getting decent 60 FPS. So our team was cooking right here. So we had a really good comeback victory in this game. I was so happy. I was like, damn, these guys are really good. I didn't do much, but I was trying my best to do something with them as a medium class. So like towards the end, you can see here, we are like almost close to losing the game to actually winning the game. Like way behind. We only had like 30 seconds or something left, so you know, we had to hustle. Now I'm putting in the work with this shotgun. It feels so good when you get a kill in this game. I love this game, man. And we're all on the platform and we snatched the win at the end. Great. A W with the 750 Ti. And the W for the card as well. And then moving on to another Unreal Engine game. And this is an example of how to not optimize games on Unreal Engine 5. But I can't blame them though. This game looks spectacular and it's a single player game. And it almost won, let's be honest here, it should have won the Game of the Year awards 2024. It's a Black Myth Wukong. And once again, the 750 Ti proved me wrong that older graphics cards cannot even run new games, but here we are. The game worked. You did not expect it at all. The game is working, and it is, I cannot say it's playable, but it's working. But you cannot expect this game to be playable without even having at least 6 GB of VRAM. That's how it is. You know, this game is really demanding and the visuals are amazing, so it justifies its performance on a card like this. And you know why it's surprising to me? Because this card doesn't even use 50 watts of power. You know how crazy that is? Some of the cards these days use 600 watts of power, and this card uses less than 60. You guys can see it's using 20 watts of power right here. You're getting 11 FPS though, but it doesn't even need a power connector. Crazy times, right? Crazy times. You can save a lot of electricity bill with this card. Really amazing. So on 1080p, we're only getting like 10 FPS on all low settings with FSR. Just expected though. Barely getting 10 FPS. Just totally fine. I cannot complain at all. But you're not gonna play a game like this with a card like this. You know, you're not buying this game. So even on 720p, the frame generation on, you cannot get anything better. Look at the CPU usage. It's 5%, 4%, and 13 FPS. It's gonna be the max you can get on the 750 Ti. Once again, surprised that the game even loads on a card like this, which is one of the most graphically demanding games that came out last year. So yeah, guys, thumbs up again to the 750 Ti. Next up is Alan Wake 2. Yeah, look at me, I'm a psychopath. I'm running Alan Wake 2 on the 750 Ti. So yeah, where do I begin with this? So you guys can see I'm starting it off at 1080p, and the game begins. This is the chapter 2 when you finish the forest scene and everything, and when you get into the chapter 2, this is how it starts. You know, it looks beautiful in the beginning, and you're getting 1 FPS slideshow in the cutscene. You guys can see some artifacts popping in and out. So there's an epilepsy warning because things are about to get a little wild. So maxed out 100% 750 Ti with 1 FPS. Wonderful. I had to skip it because, it was taking way too long. So I skipped the scene. And it was 30 FPS. I was like, oh my god, I'm getting 30 FPS on a 750 Ti in Alan Wake 2. There's no way. But you guys can see here, and it jumped to 60 FPS with a really strange looking frame time graph. I was like, what? Oh yeah, that's why. Look at that. Look at that magical visual spectacle that we're seeing before our eyes. I've never seen anything like this before, I can say that confidently. Because what the hell is this? Is it the 750 Ti is showing its true colors in Alan Wake 2. And we're still on 1 FPS. I don't know what the hell is this. This is like a... If you're high and you're watching this, you can get like a really trippy, So you guys can see I was struggling to change the settings over here. Because, the 750 Ti is really helping. It's trying its level best to help me out in the scenario. So, it was like a tug of war between me and the 750 Ti. Try to scroll down and the game's thing just goes up. Scroll wheel goes up. So I was trying something out and it appears to be still the same on 1080p. So I switched things up. I had to go back to the main menu after exiting the game. And I'm back in the main menu. Look at the FPS, 120 FPS in the main menu. Excellent. 120 FPS on the cutscene. Perfect. Ultra performance FSR to 640 x 360 resolution to see if that helps at all. Good news, it looks good. It looks really good. But we're getting 8 FPS, right? Wow, look how beautiful that is. And just after she gets out of the car, turns into a disco. This is why I gave you guys the epilepsy warning. Now you guys know. And we're still at 8 FPS. Maxing out the GPU. So, I just had to try one more thing, that is like going down all the way to the lowest resolution possible, which was the 640 by 360, 640 by 480 resolution, to see if that's gonna make any difference. But yeah, it made a huge difference from 8 FPS to 11 FPS. You can actually see what's going on the screen. It's like a disco stadium of some sort. Wow. Great experience on Alan Wake 2 on the 750 Ti. Now let's move on to something that we can consider playable. The first Berserker Khazan. I know this is like a Souls-like game, and even on 1080p low settings, the 750 Ti is performing really well. I was surprised. Getting 30 FPS on 1080p low settings on a 2025 title. I was like, okay, hold up. Maybe the 750 Ti is still the budget king. Because this card cost, why? This card costs about $100 new, but if you can get this on Amazon, no, if you can get this on a marketplace or some other sellers for cheap. I got this for this Zorak version for 20 bucks. And I was not expecting this at all. Khazan is running pretty well on his card with 30 FPS on 1080p. So we get into this boss fight. Of course, I got my ass handed over to me because I suck at boss fights and Dark Souls-like games, I am trying here my best to do something against this guy. Even on low settings, this game looked pretty good, my opinion, right? Even though there's a little bit of stutters here and there, it's pretty much playable for a 750 Ti. You lowered the resolution down to 720p. Now we're closing up to 60 FPS, which is pretty playable. Yeah, it is pretty playable on a 750 Ti, guys. So if you guys are still doubtful that you can play a new title in 2025 on this card? Yes, you can. Some of them will work, like this game, which is a really good example. So if you are into Souls-like boss fight games, this game is a really good example. You can play the game. It works perfectly fine, unlike Black Myth Wukong, the disaster you just saw before. So yeah, this is a good alternative. And this has blood in it. What do you want, right? So yeah, this was a really good experience. And back to another Unreal Engine 5 title. And this is one of the most popular games out there right now. And I played this a lot too. And it's Marvel Rivals. Well, unfortunately, the 750 Ti was not able to do anything. And you guys can see, it says DirectX 12 is not supported on your system. Please update your Windows 10 64-bit operating system. Bro, this is a Windows 11. What are you talking about? And the reason why this is saying this, even though the 750 Ti do support DirectX 12, it does not support the latest DirectX 12 version, it does not support DirectX Ultimate, which is obviously the one that's used in Marvel Rivals. You cannot use that. And it only supports DirectX 12 11 version, I believe. So that's the reason why you cannot play titles like this with the 750 Ti, which is disappointing. It's a competitive shooter game which should be accessible like Overwatch 2. Should be able to run on a 750 Ti, but it doesn't. So I don't know why did they do that though. They did pretty good with Fragpunk, but not with Marvel Rivals, which is an even more popular title. Ah no man, it doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, unfortunately you cannot play this game with the 750 Ti. Moving on to the next game. And next up we have Spiderman 2. And I was like, okay, this is not gonna work just like Marvel Rivals, because I got this message right here. Unfortunately, your GPU is not supported by the game. Please check the minimum system requirements. And your current GPU is a 750 Ti. I was like, okay, this is it. This is gonna be short. I was wrong though, because when I pressed OK and changed the settings down to 1080p, and went with everything low with the FSR quality, it actually loaded up the game. I was like, okay, all right. Everything was fine though. Even the main menu was loading, and then you see Peter and Miles just sitting there. Just standing there chilling. I was like, yeah, things seems normal. Even though it's a little bit laggy, it looks normal, right? But then when I get into the game, I've never seen anything like this before. Anything. Let me know in the comments if you guys have experienced something like this. This is the first time for me. I was like, woohoo! This is even better than Alan Wake 2. Man, where are my drugs? I'm just kidding, I don't do drugs. But look at this. It's like an acid dream right in front of my face. Like, what is this? I was trying to move the character with my controller here. That's why it's like moving around. I was like, okay, this is broken. This is beyond broken. Maybe I can try something else instead of going for the FSR. How about I try native settings? I didn't just give up on the game like that. So I just had my doubt. So I booted up the game once again without any FSR. Just upscale method turned off and just regular native gameplay. Surprisingly, it loaded up and it looks good. It wasn't whatever we just saw there. And we are getting around 10 FPS, 12 FPS, something like that. It is pretty bad, but it worked. On native resolution, the game actually is working compared to whatever we just saw before, right? And I wanted to see how it goes on 720p, and we getting 28 FPS. So this is getting into the playable category, even though the visuals are terrible. And just went into a street fight here with the gang. They're still managing to get 28 FPS, something like that. 31. I'm surprised. This is considered playable if only the visuals were better. And since it's native settings, there was no input delay or anything. I was able to get my reflexes right on point. Pretty good if you ask me. And then from there I turned down the settings a little bit. I added frame generation to see if we can get a little bit more out of it. You're getting 50 FPS. 50 FPS is pretty good. And this is why we needed FSR4. We need FSR4 on every GPU, just like they did with FSR3 and everything. If FSR3 comes on every GPU, that'll be a godsend. Not kidding. Because FSR4 looks 10 times better than whatever I've seen with FSR3 from all the videos out there. Right? So if they're able to make that happen, it's going to be really amazing, because even though this is being upscaled from I don't know, 640p or something, it can be much more sharper with FSR4. So please, AMD, please do that. It'd be really great for all of us. And on 720p native settings, we are pretty much getting 26 something FPS. It's still alright, not great. You know, it's not playable though. If you want to play this game like this, it's not worth it. Just get a better GPU. You can just get a 1060 or 1660 and play better than this, honestly. But if you got no other choice, tough luck, buddy. Tough luck. And that's it for Spider-Man 2. And next up is Stalker 2. I don't got much to say about this because the game loaded up and this is what you see. Stalker 2 Windows 64 shipping crashed to desktop. Unreal process has crashed. Stalker 2. There it is. This is the same shit that I get on Marvel Rivals on other GPUs. After playing for like 1 hour, 1.5 hours, this crashes and gives me this shit. And that's it for Stalker 2. Nothing much to say about it. Alright, this game I had zero expectations of it running on this card because, you know, it's a really new title, recent title. I was like, no way it's gonna work. I didn't have any hope. I just opened the game and pressed play. Everything was at low settings by default and it just worked. What else do you want me to say? It just works. Everything just works. But yeah, but actually this time it is working. Unlike Fallout 76, this game works on a 750 Ti. We're getting around 25 FPS. And again, the 750 Ti surprises me once again, and I'm really happy about it. Even in these cutscenes, 30 something FPS. I don't know why though. This game has a lot of furry creatures.
At least the journey's not completely lost.
I don't know, this is not a game for me. I didn't have any expectations for this game. And turns out the game is crap. On 720p, you're getting pretty much the same FPS, 20 to 25 FPS while roaming around. And we got into a knife fight here. And still getting around 30 something FPS with really pixelated looking graphics. Because it's 720p upscale from, I don't know, 360p or something. To this. It's not visually pleasing, but it's playable, right? So there you have it. Avowed. I'm awowed. Really. The 750 really awows anybody. Because you can hate on it. It's a 10-year-old, 2 gigabytes, budget-friendly, entry-level GPU that's able to run games in 2025. Okay, I don't even know why I even had any hopes on playing this game, but I had a tiny little hope, right? Because the 750 Ti was jinxing me, you know, gaslighting me into thinking the game's not gonna work. And then when I press the OK button, the game just magically opens up and works, kind of. So I was like, there's no way this is gonna work, and it didn't work. It's Monster Hunter Wilds, who am I kidding? This game doesn't even work properly on a 5090. 60 FPS is hard for a 5090 on this game, so how can I expect it to work on a 750 Ti? Come on, guys. But if it worked though, that would be great. And there's gonna be like no proof or nothing else that you can say this is a trash card. It's absolutely not. How can you call it a trash card? It just showed you a lot of games that it's working on, recent titles. This is just a test. Like I told you guys, it's not an experiment. This is just an experiment to see what we can do with the 750 Ti paired with the 9800 XPD. And I'm really happy. Yeah, it's so wonderful, you know, to see a 750 Ti working like this in 2025 on the latest titles. I also tried out a bunch more games like GTA 5 Enhanced Edition, but for some reason it was only working, it was only detecting the integrated GPU on the CPU. So I couldn't get it to work on the 750 Ti for some reason. And I tried you know, forcing it to work on the NVIDIA control panel and stuff, but it didn't work. It was only detecting the integrated GPU. So that was the last game. I wanted to test it out, and seems like it was a fun experiment. The 750 Ti, would I recommend it in 2025 to play the latest games? No, definitely not. Even with a powerful CPU like this, you cannot play much on this GPU, or you cannot do anything actually, except some games like Fragpunk, Overwatch 2, CS2. If those are the games that you play, yeah, definitely go for it. But if you want a single player experience, or you know, graphically demanding games like Black Myth Wukong, Alan Wake 2, woo, that was terrible. Spiderman 2, games like those, you need a beefy GPU. And most of these games being on Unreal Engine 5 does not help it either. But if they know what they're doing, you know, games like Fragpunk, you know, some games are really optimized. The Finals, really good looking game with a lot of destruction and still working okay on a 750 Ti. So if they know what they're doing with the optimization, we can still play games on older hardware without a lot of issues. So the devs, you guys need to do something with it, alright? There's a lot of budget GPU players out there that wants games to work on their hardware. They're not demanding super high graphics, just make the game available and work on the lowest settings. And you guys don't understand, there's a lot of people that'll be happy about it. They can just play the game. They don't give a shit about the visual fidelity or nothing. They just want the game to work. So yeah, this experiment really opened my eyes. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this, and if you want me to do more 750 Ti videos, let me know. I'll do it. And yeah, how many of you guys are rocking a 750 Ti in 2025? Let me know in the comments below, guys. I hope you guys are having a great time over there. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.